Welcome to the Wandering Podcast. This is Cris Armstrong, and I don't have your bio, so tell us a little bit about your background.
Thank you first for having me here, my friend, my best friend in USA. I can tell. It seems like we have years of friendship already. Um, so I'm from Brazil, and I think that's why we're here to talk about how I grew up and how was it. I graduated in logistic and strategic planning, but that was just my graduation. I never ever worked with it on. And that time when I was 26 years old, I had a big life-changing event. And since then, I've been working with hospitality more towards entertainment. I worked for cruise ship companies. So I had a very great experience traveling the world and meeting people from lots of different countries. Now, it's been 12 years here in USA, in the US. I have a family, 2 girls, and my husband. And I met Reanna 2 years ago. That's when our path crossed. And I think she's holding my hand on my own personal path. So we're here today to talk a little bit of Brazil, or how I was raised.
Yeah, I want to open the people in the US's minds to how people live in other countries, basically. And I haven't traveled too much outside of other countries, but Cris has traveled.
Yes.
So, let's start with, what was it like growing up in Brazil?
It's very interesting that Brazil is the 5th larger country in the world and the 7th biggest population in the world. And still, there's so much mystery about it. I first learned traveling to other countries that a lot of people doesn't even know where Brazil is. Sometimes you say Brazil and people still, what? Why? So it's hard for me being there to imagine that there is a lot of unknown about it. It's very different. Like every other country that the main language is not English is very different. Growing up in Brazil, first of all, when I grew up many years ago, there wasn't much technology like compared to USA. So we had a most disconnected life with technology. We were, and I guess everybody else my age in any country, were outside riding bikes, climbing on trees. But one big difference I feel is like I couldn't record my childhood. I don't have videos of me growing up or my parents. It was rare. Like one of my aunts, and Sandra, she had more money. And so she had a camera, a video camera. So that's when I understood that you could record things and then watch and record your trips. We have pictures. Some of my pictures are still black and white. And then when I was 6, 7, all my pictures are colorful already. But that's a peculiar thing about growing up in Brazil. One of the biggest things I remember, when I was about 9, my parents bought a VCR, and we started watching VHS tapes and renting the movies and watching, and everything we always watched was American movies. So I think not only Brazil, but many other countries have this thing growing up and living life that you mirror Americans. You see how they live life and how the culture is, and you trying to be like that. So
does Brazil not have its own movie industry.
That's interesting as well, because we don't have a Hollywood or like India Bollywood, but we are the most creative and the country that most produce telenovelas, those soap operas. So we do have a big industry of video and media, but not for movies. We do novelas, soap operas, and they're super popular. Every single Brazilian follow from the beginning to the end, and it's cultural. But for movies, everything else was from Hollywood. And so I grew up with that idea of working mothers. It's just different in Brazil too. It's a lot more sexist. It's changing now. See, I'm 44. But when I grew up, mothers were a lot more stay-at-home mothers, or with a second job that they could be part-time or most likely being taking care of the house. But we watched through the movies mothers that were independent or divorced. It was rare when I grew up in Brazil to families to be divorced. I always thought that was too modern growing up. Like, oh, I don't remember having friends that their parents were divorced. So those cultural things that affect you, but you don't know when it's happening. You're just doing this constantly on your daily basis, and it seems like that's how you need to be, like the Barbie and Bob. It was Barbie and Ken. So we are Americanized a lot. We learned the microwave, and then we have the pre-made food on an aisle on the supermarket. But also nowadays, if you go to Brazil today, you won't see as much processed food there. It's a lot more made from scratch. So you see fresh fruits and fresh produce, and people will make their food from scratch. Eating is a very different habit in Brazil. Eating it's slow. So fast food, there is fast food in Brazil, but it's more like a treat. You do this as a treat to your children or to yourself. We take our time cooking and eating. So our restaurants, they don't have a big turnover. So it's not a very good deal to be a server or a waitress in Brazil.
Oh,
because they have a salary. So those little things are little, but they shape you. So when you come to America, you get surprised sometimes, and culture shock. Yeah. And it's hard to, if you need to, we don't need to do that. It's hard to fit in, because you're going to try to find your Brazilian way or your foreign way to do things. So going for grocery shopping, it's quite challenging in the beginning. For me, it was the juices, finding the variety or juices with no sugar added. It was a big deal. I was a juice drinker. And in Brazil, every corner you have a bar. It's kind of a juice bar, but it's also served food, snacks, and coffee. So let's have a coffee, you say, but you don't need to have a coffee. You can have a fresh squeezed orange juice with carrots and eat a little pastry like a pão de queijo or a empanada. So it's in every corner.
Wow. Are the grocery stores in Brazil, are they supermarkets like we have, like big chain kind of things?
We have both. We have the supermarkets that were introduced a little later. Now, they're not as old as things here, but we do have Walmart like everywhere in the world. And we do have other supermarkets, but it's more like little mercados, little markets and corners in the neighborhoods, especially for meat. The butcher you don't buy your meat in a supermarket. You can, but you're gonna barbecue with meat that you go to that little butcher in your neighborhood that you know the name. Hey, Seu João, hi. And they know what is your preferred cut and your favorite cut of meat. And that's again the made from scratch. And it's a whole feeling, and it's a whole atmosphere of shopping, cooking, and then eating the food. Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
sounds a little more fun. Like
It is. It is.
people,
It
you're
is.
connected to
It
your
is.
food more than
It
just
is. It
consuming
is.
it.
But it's so much work. It's so much work because we set the table every single time we sit to eat, and we sit to eat. You won't see a Brazilian eating in their car. You won't see. Rarely coffee cups now. Now it's modern. You're gonna go to a coffee. They have Starbucks and other little places. I was surprised when I went last time. I went to Curitiba. I found little coffee shops with just coffee, like your espresso, cappuccino, your mocha, and to go, because you normally go somewhere, sit down, and have your coffee. So to go was like, wow. So that's modernism. That's too modern for me. And it's there already. You can find it, but it's not easy.
It
to
sounds a
find.
little bit like it's like a different time. Like when you were growing up, for me here, the 80s was the 80s, the only 80s I know. But in Brazil, it sounds like it still was maybe more like the 60s here.
We can say that. We can say back in time, not nowadays. Things are, the movie just was launched here, is there as well. I know I talked to my mom. She's like, have you already watched Little Mermaid? No, I didn't yet. But before, when I grew up, and maybe 10, maybe let's say 20 years ago, there was this 10 years gap. I knew that. Then when I was 16, I was aware of that. So I knew this was launched there, so it's going to take a couple of years to get here. And for most things, like big things like grocery shopping and big TVs and big electronics, 10 years. It was, we knew some people could have it imported, but with a astronomical price. But yeah, at that time when I grew up, I have a feeling that I was on the 70s for sure. The way things were slowly and technology mainly.
It's kind of how Tahoe is, because I grew up in Lake Tahoe, and it's a small mountain town, and family in Southern California, just things were just, the radio stations were playing different music. We were always a little behind. There was no fashion in Tahoe.
Yeah.
We didn't really have clothing shops. I mean, there's a Ross now there, which is a big deal.
So I think Tahoe stopped in time, and Brazil is now flying. There's everything there for sure. Still, then going back to culture, the mentality is still the same. Yeah, we have everything. We have the fast food environment, but still, it has the good and the bad, everything in life. I always try to pull to my side when I'm with my husband. Because we do this better. But I learned that years ago. There isn't, and there is not. No way there is a better situation anywhere. It's just different. It's just different, because you're going to find the super positive. It's not only a little bit positive, but it's super positive in one thing that you thought it was bad. For example, let's say fast food. When it comes to my mind, all the thoughts completely. But how many times I've been doing that to my family? Many, multiple. I try to be healthy on a fast food environment. I try to be wise. I try to minimize, but it's such it helps you so much. It's easier, and you can be creative and jiggle. I'm doing healthy, but I also do some fast food here and there for coffee, for smoothies, and finger food. So, and sitting at the table every time you're going to have a meal, then think about it. You have all those dishes. You have the tablecloth that needs to be washed. And then we go to another cultural difference is that we have maids.
Right.
Still in the
I love that.
2023rd, we all maids have helpers in their house. They live to go take care of somebody's house, but they do have somebody that comes to take care of them. It's kind of a first job as babysitting babies here, or some women do feel comfortable doing that. We don't have man maids. Brazil is also very sexist. This may be a topic for another podcast. But so maids are there. So you are able to sit down to get all those dishes dirty and just stand up and say, I'm late to work. You put your purse here and say, bye, people, and you go. Because a maid is there to clean the table, clean the tablecloth, and put the dishes, wash by hand or...
And do they help with the kids?
That could be a combination. When kids are younger, you do have a maid that is a nanny. She won't be as good cooking and cleaning, but that's okay. But she will be with the kids. Yeah, it's affordable. It's very affordable, including like then you can go to how the way houses are built and the plan in the houses. They have this service area in houses. It's just normally almost always close to the laundry room. And that's where your maid will be. Or because when I grew up, we had live-in maids. They will come from the countryside, most likely, or the suburbs. In Brazil, the suburbs have a different meaning as well. You're out there, a low-income family. So they will have this benefit of living with this family, not paying for gas or for rent or for food, because they will be included in the whole family budget. And they will have their room with a bathroom, with a full bathroom, close to the laundry room.
And did you say that Brazil was colonized by the French?
Portuguese.
Oh, that's why it's
yeah.
Portuguese.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you
At
speak.
that time, those were the biggest guys around, the Spanish and the Portuguese people. They were there with their ships. They were the big. So USA was discovered by the Spanish, and they tried Brazil. They tried Africa, and that's why they call Indians the native people in Brazil and in all the other countries. They call Indians because they were always aiming for
I thought they were in India.
They always thought they always thought. So all the native people that was in land before everybody discovered any piece of land are called Indians, because that's the Indians. And
I wonder if the having the houses built with service quarters do you think that was a Spanish or Portuguese influence?
A Portuguese influence for sure. They came to Brazil just for sucking the goodies. So they came, and it's very explicit. Pedro Álvares Cabral never said he was coming to colonize and turn this into a country for good people to live. They came to extract the wood, mainly. Pau Brasil is a redwood, and that was it. Redwood, Pau Brasil. That's why you see Brazilian wood in every fancy furniture around the world. That started there in the 15th. In the 15th, they came to extract the wood, but then they found emerald, diamonds, and the Indians, the women. So they made children here, and they stayed. And it's a tropical country. It's not too hot. It's not too cold. It's right perfect. So it was a good place to be. I can only imagine.
Yeah. And speaking of that, you said that 90% Catholic?
So they brought that too. The Portuguese people brought the Catholicism here there to Brazil, and they start teaching to Indians. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so 90% of the population is religious and is Catholic. They are very religious, but in a loose manner. So music, parties, even the soap operas and every kind of art that we have that is is born in Brazil, you will see some religion, some spirituality, some Bible passages on it, but in a more loose way. We talk about God and Mary and Jesus in such a loose way. It's on the songs, it's on the poetry, and it's just changed. Like everything that went to Brazil changed, and it got this more tropical way, I guess.
Yeah.
More fun, more.
Fun. So Catholic guilt, was that a thing that you grew up with?
No, I did not, because with my generation, that was already a little more, or a lot more loose even. I think my grandma and then my grandma were more, how can I say, strict, rigid on it for sure. But then with my mom we go when we can. She still tries to go every Sunday to the church, but it's where you make friends. It's where you connect. It's a lot more traditional than religious. If I'm making myself clear, because there is a lot of people right there that they are, they have other religions as well. They like astrology. They are in the gay community, or they don't necessarily live according to the Bible. And our priests are normal people that dress normally and have a better approach, or an easier approach with the community. So you will see, if you go there, you will see. I've been to churches here, Catholic churches here in USA, and I felt like there was rules to follow, even like dressing codes, or the way you sit, and the way things were more serious. And it's not like that. It's still it's a path that keep people more centered, but it's not mean. It's not
the guilt and the shame. And
no. You can be whatever you want and have love in your heart. That's I learned in the Catholic Church in Brazil. Like it gave us some north for things for sure, but it's more free.
And that's kind of the overall culture. US versus Brazil. Brazil is a lot more fun, and I mean, you guys socialize more, you party a lot harder.
Yes.
And we are very like capitalist and make money and do work all the time.
We don't. The people that came here, it's all about colonization. It's all about back there in the 15s, because they didn't teach us, or nobody started with, let's be progressive, let's develop, let's build things, let's grow. They were here for leisure. They were here to feel good and to extract things from the Amazon and medicine. And so the mindset's still the very same one. That's incredible, right? Still the very same one. And then people that got a little bit of power, they are all corrupted, because they really don't want the progress too. That's a main thought. Of course, there's lots of exceptions, and a lot of people think different than that. But the cultural thing, it's we call jeitinho. Jeitinho means literally means little way. So Brazilians have their little way of doing things. They're going to be not the bureaucratic way of doing things. So if something is too hard to be done, you say, come, I have my little way. I have a jeitinho, and we're going to do this way. That involves bribing somebody or skipping a part of a process or doing something illegal. It'd be like that. Yeah.
I feel like we talked about safety and how the US has all these laws meant to keep you safe, but really you're just getting in trouble all the time. Like compared to Brazil, you guys, I mean, like speed limits and seatbelts, it's just different there, right?
Yeah. We do not, that's saying out loud, it's hurtful even, but we do not respect the laws. They are there. There's a book. The Constitution was made in 1988. The second one was updated in 88. So, okay. It's pretty sexist, and there's a lot of things that doesn't make sense. It's all to privilege the bureaucracy, because steps of bureaucracy create opportunities for corruption, right? So we do not apply the law in many little things on our daily routine because there's no one watching. And there is the jeitinho again, my little way of doing. There's a no parking sign here, but I will park because nobody's gonna see, and it's a lack of staff. And then if there is staff, you can talk to the policeman, you can talk and bribe, and yeah. So it's a lot more loose. When I came, I was like, they say America is the freedom country, the freedom. But I didn't feel that way because I still feel like I'm being watched all the time. You feel free in Brazil. You definitely free. But then one comes with another that's pretty sad. It's you're free, but you're afraid.
Afraid.
Because you won't have protection, or you can't count who you're going to call.
Right. The police are not out there.
Yeah. And it's very corrupt. It's sad. That's the dark side, and the situation right now, it's worst. I'm trying to think this is just a phase, it's gonna pass, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That would be a little scary.
It is.
And I'm assuming the population in Brazil is not armed.
No.
Okay.
Bad people are armed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thieves and murderers, and the traffic people, all the drug cartels are all super well armed, and we don't have nobody. The culture is totally against guns. We don't even talk about it. I have never seen one. My uncle was a sheriff, and then now he's a judge, and he's retired. He went to all steps of the police, and we knew he had guns, so that's how close I got to guns.
So I mean, I think it's safe to say that banning owning guns does not mean that people don't own guns. It's just the wrong people.
Yeah, the wrong people. Yeah, it's funny. I know it's sad, but it's funny because they don't need to go through the law to get their guns.
Right. I mean, the bad people that have guns here don't go through the law.
And you can have a permit if you want, if you're a good person and you want, but it's a lot bureaucratic and it's super expensive. Guns there are extremely expensive. High class, wealthy people might be able to have it. And yeah, if you want to own a gun. But our houses now are all gated. In Brazil, you will see high walls and gates, and it's like you are in a prison. You live in a prison. You know, the windows have gates on the windows. It's unsafe.
Yeah, I could see that feeling like prison.
Yeah.
by just not feeling like you can just leave your house unlocked. I mean, that was
Yeah.
something in Tahoe. We never locked our house. I mean, we had people go in it, but nothing happened. Yeah, nothing happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, most people up there didn't lock their doors growing up. I think more do now. There's a lot more tourists up there now for some reason. But speaking of that, it was so would you say that people live more comfortably? I'm talking about wealth-wise, money-wise, here or in Brazil. Is there a major disparity between the wealthy and the poor? Is there a middle class?
Yeah, it's harder there for sure. The difference between the poor and the rich, it's a lot bigger. So that's why it's unsafe, because people literally don't have what to eat, and it's not an option. It's not like I don't want to work. I'm not like everybody else. I'm an artist, or I don't know what it's not an option. There's not many public help from the government. It should be, but as I said, it's very corrupt. So the money goes where else, or to a politician pocket, most like. So it's here you can have anything, I believe. It you can go to the movies, you can go eat out, you can buy your huge screen TVs, have car. In Brazil, you cannot if you don't have a good job, a good salary, and yeah, it's a lot more different. It's
So like pretty much all of us in the US have
everything.
an iPhone or a smartphone, even if we are living below poverty level.
Yeah. That's crazy that everybody that I know here, and I know people from every classes, they can have anything, the basic needs and more, like phones and computers. Of course, the more you have, the nicer thing you have, the bigger house, and a lot of people don't have houses. No USA is passing through this housing big phase. But in Brazil, you can't even have a phone or a car. I was 26 when I got my first car, a used car that somebody wanted to get rid of it. We have this thing that we finance things, almost everything. Electronics, we finance computers, we finance TVs, we finance blenders and microwaves. You can pay 12 or 24 times. It's amazing. Yeah.
I think we're starting to see a little more of that happening here.
That's true.
I remember we had Kmart. That was our clothing shop in Tahoe, and you could do layaway. My parents did that.
Yeah. But see, I don't see that development going to Brazil slowly. There's so many other issues, and now it's kind of, we're stuck because like here, we're so divided, and because of politics. Something crazy happened around the world. This energy of splitting people in the middle because of politics, and Brazil is so stuck. Now they can't solve anything because half the country think is this, half of the country think is that, and so nothing is agreed at all. So what's happening in a positive way is that people are doing their own things, like ONGs and community centers and people helping each other. That might be the only solution, and I think this is the only solution for the world. So then we can kind of wrap it up all the subjects and say that it doesn't matter what country you are. It doesn't matter how different it is. We're all in the world suffering of the same thing, that some have too much, some doesn't have enough. And we have the ones that doesn't have enough, they might have the heart and the soul to share with those that have everything. So I think we should all help each other in every single way, shape, or form. And and add to each other. We have the technology. Internet is putting us so much together and entangled all kinds of cultures. So we just should effectively start doing that. Like sometimes I have this crazy dreams. Like I think, what if Americans come and give us what they have best, and we come and it will be like in a practical way, we giving fresh fruit and produce and teaching people how to be disconnected, and then Americans coming with the progress and infrastructure but
Technology.
technology.
Well, I think there's a scarcity mindset in the world. I mean, we have the technology and the internet where we can connect, and we spend our time online arguing politics or whatever. I mean, arguing, just looking for something to spread fear and scarcity. And there is no actual scarcity. It's just the fear of it. And people accumulating because we've been taught to fear losing and that there's not enough, but there is enough.
There is enough. It's sad. I work for the hospitality business here, and we throw so much food in the trash.
Oh yeah,
every single time. And other things that we just it's reusable, is replaceable items that you just bought and now you're disposing, and food is what makes me sick.
I think at some point I read a statistic. The U.S., I think it's different than what I recall, but like we actually consume, I don't know,
it's less than 50%.
Yeah,
it's
far less.
It's something like 80-20. We need to check on that.
It gets thrown out. Yeah, most of
but
it.
I think you're right, but we gotta check the numbers and maybe start from that, just checking numbers, and that's how we do with our life. We start from somewhere, doing like self-care, and we sit down and make a list so we can see if we start doing those things for our children in school, maybe a subject in middle school about the world itself, not only America, but the world.
Yeah, American schools, I've been to a lot of school, all in this country. So I don't even know how many college credits I have, but it's all aimed at making employees, churning out employees, not people who are empowered to make their own things, become entrepreneurs. Like I didn't take entrepreneurship until my master's program. So it was really interesting because I was very much against my parents' beliefs growing up because they were all about their religion. And I just didn't resonate with it. And so I went extreme academia, and I relied on school for all of my information. And I just was like, my parents know nothing. And I was pretty shocked once I started my own business, how unprepared I was. Because this is America, it's the land of opportunity. We're supposed to be starting businesses, and actually even being an accountant, our tax code is written in such a way that you benefit by becoming an employer because you're providing jobs for people and livelihoods, and real estate, building infrastructure and providing housing and shelter basically for more people in the world. So you get all these tax incentives to do those two things. But nobody's learning how to do those things because we're all learning how to go and punch a clock and work for somebody else's dream, and that we are worth just an hourly wage. And I mean, when you think about that alone, that our worth is an hourly dollar amount.
That was a big surprise for me. The sentence, time is money. That was shocking. And I know it's like, how so? Isn't that obvious? It's not everything like that. No, it's not. No, it's not. Especially if you go up in Brazil to the northern part of Brazil, where they are colonized more likely by slaves, that culturally they suffer. Man, it's not in the books what happened with Black people. We know that. We should know more and more and more. Anyway, so if you go to the northeast of Brazil there, people are so into enjoying life, making art, music, and dancing and being at the beach. And they are called lazy. They're called lazy people. Nobody there knows time is money. Nobody knows time is money.
Wow. That would
No.
be so awesome to
Time
just be
is-
in for a minute.
Time is precious. It's being with your. So I met this guy at my brother is from Salvador, so it's Northwest. My mom and dad lived there for 7 or 8 years, and so my brother born there, and my brother is older, 5 years older. So I didn't live up there. I born in São Paulo, the most capitalist city in Brazil, São Paulo. So, but we have friends there, and we went visit every year. And when I was 16, I remember I was at the beach on a Monday. I was in my vacation, and then I met this guy helping me to cross the corals, the rocks and the corals, helping me to cross to this natural pool. And then we start talking, and I was like, on a Monday, what are you doing here on a Monday? You're a tourist. Where are you from? He said, no, I live right here. I live in Barra, and I work Rio Vermelho, but now it's lunchtime, so I came to dive in the water. But it was 2 p.m. in the afternoon, and then he said the water was so chill, he decided to stay, and he was a mechanic. So I was thinking, the cars that are in his shop, if it was my car, will be there waiting to be ready. And in his mind was like, you can wait, there's always tomorrow.
There's other things you can do. Dive. Go diving.
And
Stop
that's
trying
the
to drive.
mentality. That is the mentality. And somehow Brazilians figure it out how to mix this mentality with making money. There's a lot of good people making a lot of money in the world, in the country. I mean, and there's a lot of developments in certain areas. There are amazing people there. But if you go to the people in the street, it's like that. They're waiting for the weekend to start. So like 6 o'clock on a Friday, forget about it. They're all going to the beach. They're having their first beer, and there's music until early mornings. And
So Tahoe's actually a little,
like that.
quite a bit like that.
Well, you
Yes.
told me about it. Seems like
I'll go up there for vacation, and it's a weekday, and I'm on vacation, but I'm visiting my family, and they're like, yeah, let's go to breakfast. And then they're ordering a mimosa, and I'm like, oh, are you not going to go to work today? Haven't decided. Don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Awesome. And I miss it all the time, because Southern California is just not like that. Everybody's always so busy with all of their
even the
work.
fun things in Southern California, for me, I feel like was made people do things because a certain schedule, even the fun things, even the parties and the amusement parks and anything people do for fun, it's such in a tight schedule.
Yeah.
And it's just feel like, okay, we're done, bye. And it's not.
Yeah, the party doesn't go into the early morning hours.
No.
That's Tahoe. We didn't stop at 8 p.m. and say the kids need to be in bed. No, we just stayed, and we kept partying, and the kids would fall asleep wherever they fell asleep.
Yeah. I do feel that there is a good wave coming, a positive wave, and in related to time is money. I think we should keep this sentence in mind and talk about what does it bring to our thoughts when we say time is money. so what's time for you, and how much I want to charge for my time, or this is the right way of doing it. But I feel this big change coming. I heard on the news, and everybody must know I'm more connected to the news than I am, that they are trying to change the work schedule for 4 days per week, not 5. It depends. Everybody has a different job.
A little more reasonable.
But having a better balance, life and work. So I think that the arguments that are there. We're talking about it, and talking about it is huge. It's just the first step, but it's the most important step.
Yeah.
To bring up the subject and talk about it. Talk about with your kids, talk about with everybody, because we feel there's something off. And if you are hearing this podcast, if like we found each other, if there is something off, we gotta express that and bring it up. We can't just go ahead and do what everybody's been doing for many years just because everybody's been doing. We gotta question ourselves, and time is money. Oh, right? That does not sound right at all.
Yeah.
No. So what about our kids? What do they think about it? Schools, as you said, they are all like that. So maybe a different approach with the teachers or with the principal, or an extra class after school, to bring that to our children, the future of the world. And we should just talk about it, bring it to discussion, and what is time? What is time?
Yeah, we need to consider the way we're educating our
the
kids,
little ones. Yes.
because I just know that all of not everything, but a lot of the way that I grew up, my beliefs, I don't want my kids to have to undo that stuff in their heads.
Yeah.
And it's already happening.
Yeah.
Where I'm seeing all this incongruence with the way that I live and the way I want to live. And I mean, even when they come in here and bother me when I'm on a call, I'm like, get out of here.
Yeah.
And I freak out. And then, it's like their value is less than a phone call that I'm on, which is, I mean, that's a whole person. So of course they have more value than that.
Yeah.
And it's a habit. We just have really crappy habits just from doing the thing that you just said, repeating behaviors and beliefs that just aren't.
But see, at first you don't even think about it. You just say, excuse me, I'm busy. Don't you think this is important? It's perfectly natural. Almost all of us will have done the same or do the same thing. But if we start thinking, oh, there's something off.
Yeah.
There is something and that's why I'm in this journey, because living life the way I was taught that everybody's been doing, looking to my neighbors, see the way they're doing, so I need to catch up. I need to do the way. It wasn't good for me anymore. I always feel there's something off. But now myself tells me I need to talk about it. What is this? That's why there's something off. We talked about the girls and the swimming suit last week.
Yes.
That's another topic.
So no, I think we're going to get there. Our school let our daughters know that they could not wear 2 pieces and they could not have their stomachs showing. So if they had a 2-piece bathing suit, they had to either wear a t-shirt or get a 1-piece, but the boys could go shirtless. So I sent a message to the principal and the district and said, I was a little late. I should have given them a little more notice, but we can't have this. Our girls are being taught that they should be ashamed of showing their stomachs, and are we sending the message to our boys that they don't have self-control if they see a girl's stomach, that they're going to become a sexual predator? Like, let's not teach anybody any of that, because that's ridiculous.
Yeah. That was a big one. That for me it had a lot of meaning. That's a big one. And it felt to me like I was that the imposed one piece, it felt like I was back 50 years ago or more.
Yeah.
So what are you telling me?
Yeah. And you're telling the parents that we're bad parents because we let our daughters wear two pieces?
Exactly.
Is that what's happening?
Yeah. That's an appropriate way of being. At school, you are appropriate. In your house, you are what? You're not appropriate. That brought me to a very off point of it. I was like, oh, this is not right. And they're gonna make these decisions later. They're gonna choose what is more comfortable or not. But if you already say a no for something, especially for the boys, see the point of view of the boys. It starts something that they don't even know yet.
Yeah.
They're not thinking like that at all. And it's so beautiful to see them. They are so beautiful, all of them, all those different tummies. And let's show all those different tummies. So I hope next year.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, but so what I liked about the thing was that my daughter came through the front door and was like, Mother, they are trying to tell us that we have to be covered and the boys don't. And I was like, I'm so glad you told me, dear.
That's a huge achievement. That's a huge achievement. And as my mom said, okay, I did this way. Now I believe you guys are doing better. And our kids are going to do better. And we can do better right now. We don't need to wait for next generation. We can do better at this time, this minute. And when they come home, it's just start with a new platform, with a different paradigm or no paradigm at all, just let things more natural, because all of this is all tangled with the sexes and the way men been driving this bus and the way men to control this and
the unhealthy patriarchy, which men are suffering from as well, because for one, they're being told way too young that they're a predator. And so I don't really want my son learning that. And also that they're not allowed to have certain emotions. I mean, most of us, I think, have been taught that we're not allowed to have certain emotions. But men are supposed to be, strong and violent and aggressive and always moving. Everybody needs to rest. Everybody needs to have all of the emotions and be able to express them. Yeah. And then women, obviously, we know the oppression that has been, women for a long, long time. And we discussed that you hadn't heard that there was a time when things were tribal, that women were highly valued members.
No, I try to think about it. Cleopatra and things like that. I think Cleopatra was in a very feminist time, but I don't know about her clero, the women above her, and I thought it was just her and so it's a good subject to get into it and learn.
Yeah, and there is a podcast that Deja Blue podcast where she interviews the Reverend Reanna something. I don't know which episode it is, but she goes into kind of the history of how kind of patriarchy started and how the women were kind of stripped of their lands and rights in order for certain men, and I think probably their wives were a part of it, to prosper and to get boys and men to go to war. There were women who had influence and who were opposing that. And were saying, no, I don't want my men or my boys to go do that. And then those men that wanted them to then needed to, well, then you don't have any rights. Like, shut up. We don't like you're distracting them. We want them to do what we say. So we're going to go ahead and demonize women. But she says it much more eloquently, and she has dates and things that will make more sense. But
that's interesting.
So
that's very interesting.
You also mentioned the sexism in Brazil. And
still,
it's so interesting because when like
Mhm.
when the US loves the Brazilian bikini,
Yeah.
where it
That's a
has
double
everything.
sword
Yes, I'm interested.
because that's what we're known for. And who doesn't like to being said that, oh, you're from Brazil. Those are the most beautiful women in the world. Who wants to lose that on the podium? Who wants to say, no, we're not? No, we are not. So that's tough. But we're known for that because there is a lot more uh, pressure in the woman's a lot more. Yeah, you got to be beautiful. If you didn't born beautiful, you got to be extremely um, um, the word missing the word, but you need to take extremely care of yourself and enhance or try or be. Women are they do a lot more. That's a good part. A lot more self-care in Brazil because they have maids, so they have time. So it's practically, it's unsaid, but it's mandatory for you to have your hair done, your nails done, brows, eyelashes now eyelashes, and all the plastic surgeries and procedures. And but it started very naturally for real. If we go back in history, we have the longest line coast in the world. So it's a tropical country. You're gonna wear small clothes. You're gonna show a lot more skin, and because of the water, that's history. Because of the water, it works your legs and your bottoms a lot more. So that is true. I'm not one of those, but they have bigger, pronounced bottoms. They do have the African women too. So I don't know why they talk about Brazilian. You should see the difference. I've been in Africa, South Africa, and the African women too. Black woman has, but in Brazil it is different. It's more like a flow. All right, it is true, and because of that, started naturally. Like when Bossa Nova, Girl of Ipanema, was there 50 years ago, and they needed to keep up with that. And all the technology in these matters came right away to Brazil. We didn't need to wait 10 years for this technology to be there. And our doctors and procedures, any other procedures, our doctors, statisticists, static surgeons, and all of this group, they're very developed there. I will say the best in the world are in Brazil, the best schools, the best training, the best courses, the best tools they invent. So, and unfortunately, the girls in school seeing their moms, like the little girls, they see the moms with a maid. So the mom is not there doing dishes or cleaning the house. The mom is at the gym or at the salon and working. There's a lot more women than men in Brazil too. So this is a disadvantage. Women can't find love. That's another subject. But so we've got to keep up with that. And the girls see mom doing, so all the little girls are also in that mindset. And so there's no quality, man. There's no quantity. There's no quality, but still you got to be beautiful, perfect, work, have your job. And so I'm better here in America.
Oh, so the little girls are already having a sense of body shame.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
So is the plastic surgery less expensive?
A lot less, 5 times less. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah.
If I wanted some, I'd go
yeah,
there.
we'll pull a bus. We will get a full bus with all of us, and we go a boat or plane. But you won't see obese people in Brazil. You'll see fat, overweight, but it's like a different culture. It's just it will be harder to be who you meant to be in your body shape in Brazil than here. I think we are more democratic here. And the way you dress, the way you port yourself. There is the beauty thing in Brazil, definitely.
I think you had mentioned that you have a friend who can't find the love, because you mentioned that, and when they are finding men, that the guys are kind of losers and they're not. So the woman is working, being perfectly beautiful, has everything, and then he's just hanging out.
I think there everything happening in this feminist world. So women went out there. It was already mandatory that you must be beautiful. So now you must go and get it because you need to be independent as well. So it's more like you have Wonder Womans, Superwomans, and you don't have man to. That's a lot of Brazilians getting married with Americans and foreign men. A lot. That's a lot. Yeah. So
and
be
that's
careful.
kind of something that I wanted to touch on. Feminism in general. Yeah, I read something on Instagram the other day about how we grew up being trained to be caregivers, but then also that we're supposed to be independent. So now women are in this situation where we're trying to do everything and often aren't even allowing men to bring any value. If I have money and I can do everything for myself, what do I need you for? Right. So that kind of messes with now we've got this way off balanced situation where women are exhausted and overworked. Before we didn't have any rights. Now we have rights, but we're burnt out and we can't keep up with life. We don't rest. And and having difficult making room in our lives for men and to have a balanced, healthy relationship. So that's one of the things with my coaching program that I'm trying to address with women is to teach us to slow back down. Take some of that crap off your plate, because keeping up with the Joneses is totally unnecessary.
That's out of the list. That must go. That must go. Everybody's individual. Everybody's so different, and nothing that you're gonna do back there is gonna be what I need for me. Maybe some, but we're so different. And the thing now is that we embraced everything. We brought everything to our table because we are unbeatable, we're strong, we're independent, and we cannot let it go. We can't demand things when we need our children to be raised well. We need them to have love, and then we need to support our family financially even. And that's what we most see, women out there supporting their family financially, and then you need to do all of the rest as well. So that's a big thing to discuss, because we got to meet men in the middle, or whatever partner you want to have. Woman, man, whatever. We got to meet in the middle. And I don't know. I don't have an answer for that, Reanna. I think what you're doing, it's amazing, because we start step by step, very baby steps.
Well, I don't have it figured out. I'm just learning.
Yeah, but I think the beginning of it, because it's so overwhelming, just getting that first step, the first duck in the row, just keeping that for a while going on. It is self-love. It should be obvious. This should be.
But there's shame and stigma around that. Even that word self-love, it sounds like, oh, you're such a self-indulgent little spoiled baby. Like, you don't need to love yourself.
Well, it do. As simple as the mask on the airplane. It's simple like that. You're gonna have a lot more to give if you give yourself first. It's so simple. But this is like rooted. It's inside of us for generations and generations. It's in our gene. That's how I learned. And so it's very difficult for me. And I understand why we all like that. We just need to start a different trend. We just got to start a different trend. and make this a thing, make this fun, make this natural,
and we reprioritize our minutes into like enjoying how many of my minutes a day am I actually enjoying versus doing something that sucks the life out of me.
All that is in pro of this time is money stigma that we create also, because we see very nice women that look like they have everything under control, but if you analyze, they're living their life, half of their hours they are giving themselves to this stigma of time is money. They are just there in this wheel doing the same things, and it could be a lot more productive and doing something else, or
having that self-love will bring you to doing things that you love because they just go together. I mean, but we've just got to reprioritize spending more of our time doing things that we love rather than just making money or finding ways to make money that don't require so much time. And there are tons of ways to do that. But
it's a different college to go, like, because you got to there's so much money in the world, you just need to redirect that for the good. And when you start that, everything else will come along. And we're in the same boat because we're in the same planet. So I will imagine this is not impossible at all. This is just that we're not trained for doing it. We've been putting our energy in the wrong things, and we just accept what was taught to us as society. So I'm a positive person. I believe a lot. I have a lot of faith. We just need to talk about it and touch our friends, like poke them and check with them. How are you today?
And instead of
how are you
default,
fine.
How maybe are you? Tell the truth.
Tell the truth, because we know what was supposed to be like. You finish school and then graduate in college and get that job that gives you a lot of money and keep up with your body, slim, beautiful, wonderful woman, and then have babies and then be a wonderful mother, but keep up with your job and the house is organized. And we all know what's meant to be, what they taught us. Let's reconstruct those things, because obviously it's too much. And a lot of those, like you said, cleaning up your place, everything of those things we've been doing, they're not taking us anywhere, only to a stress path. They're not adding. They're giving us more wrinkles and more worriness, and there's less time with the ones we love, with each other. Yes. It's just, we got to talk about it.
And I think that is a great place to end.
I agree.
So thanks for listening.
Thank you,
Thanks
everybody.
for being here.
Thank you for inviting.